Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Men are simple, but they're not always easy to figure out. You might think he's got you all out of his mind, but truth is, the very moment he feels that quiet, that space, that absence, you become the loudest thing in his life. A man might not say it out loud, but when he misses you, it's because your presence spoke louder than any words you could ever say. He misses the way you make him feel at peace. He misses the laughter you bring into his world. He misses the little things you didn't even know you were doing. See, when you step back, when you stop chasing, that's when a man realizes just how much he values you. Because what a man takes for granted in the moment will be the same thing he cries for when it's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, let me break it down for you, because sometimes we make this thing way more complicated than it really is. See, a man will walk around acting like he's got everything figured out, like he's solid, like he's unshaken. But the truth is, when you remove yourself from the picture, when you take your energy out of his daily life, that's when reality shows up. A man might not always tell you with his words that he misses you, but his actions, his silence, his habits, they start to speak for him. You know, when a man is used to your presence, he becomes comfortable. He starts thinking you're always going to be there, that your love, your ladder, your comfort, your consistency is guaranteed. But when that guarantee suddenly disappears, when you stop being so available, when you don't answer every text right away, when you don't show up in all the same places, that's when he realizes something's missing. That's when he feels the difference, and that's when he misses you. He misses you in the quiet moments. You know, those late nights when the noise is gone, when the crowd has disappeared, when it's just him and those four walls, that's when he starts to think about you. He remembers how you used to check on him, how you used to make sure he was good, how you laughed at his corny jokes, how you encouraged him when nobody else did. See, men don't always recognize the blessing when it's right in front of them, but they feel it heavy when it's gone. And that quiet loneliness is a powerful reminder of what your presence brought to his life. He misses you in the middle of his routine too. Maybe he's driving to work, and suddenly that song you two used to sing together comes on the radio. Maybe he walks into his favorite restaurant, and the waiter asks, "Just one today?" And suddenly, he realizes he's used to you sitting right there across from him. It's those everyday reminders that sneak up on him, those small things you never thought mattered. Those are the things that pull at him the hardest. Because when you've woven yourself into a man's routine, you're not just a person in his life, you're part of his rhythm. And when that rhythm is off, he feels it deep. He misses you when life challenges him. See, a man might act strong and independent, but even the strongest man leans on someone. And when he's faced with problems, when the pressure comes down, he remembers who stood by him, who gave him strength, who reminded him he could make it through. That's when he thinks of you, because your support was more than words. It was an anchor. And once a man has felt the power of that kind of support, he can't easily shake it off. When you're not there, he feels the weight of carrying it alone, and that's when missing you cuts the deepest. Now let's be clear. Missing you doesn't come from chasing him down, calling him nonstop, or begging for his attention. Missing you comes from your absence. It comes from him having the space to realize what you brought into his life. And that's why sometimes the best thing a woman can do is pull back. Not to play games, not to manipulate, but to protect her own peace and to give him the chance to recognize what he has before it's too late. Because the truth is, when you stop pouring into a man who thought you'd never stop, it shakes him. It makes him reevaluate. It forces him to see that your love is not something to be taken lightly. A man will miss the sound of your voice, the comfort of your presence, the way you believed in him when he didn't believe in himself. He will miss your laughter, the way you made his world lighter, the little habits you had that he used to tease you about, but now finds himself longing for. He will miss the way you made home feel like home, even if it was just a car ride or a late night conversation. And the deeper truth is, he will miss not just what you did, but who you are, because when a woman of value leaves space, that absence becomes louder than anything she could ever say. So ladies, don't ever think for a second that you go unnoticed. Don't think that your love goes unremembered. A man might not always say it in the moment. He might not always show it when you're right there. But when you step back, when your presence is no longer guaranteed, he feels it. He feels it in his routines, in his quiet, in his struggles, in his memories. That's when he realizes just how much you matter. And that's when he misses you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me talk to you about something that many people don't realize until they've lived it. A man might act strong, he might act distracted, he might even act like he's too busy to care. But the truth is there are moments when his heart and his mind remind him of what he no longer has right in front of him. When a man misses you, it doesn't always show up as a grand gesture or some dramatic announcement. It shows up in the quiet triggers, the emotional moments that catch him off guard, the times when he realizes your absence has created a space nothing else can fill. Missing someone is not just about being lonely. It's about realizing that the person who brought color, joy, and meaning to your everyday moments is no longer there to give it. That's when the weight of missing you really sets in. He misses you when the nights get long. A man can keep himself busy during the day. He can fill his schedule, surround himself with noise, even distract himself with work or friends. But when the night comes, when everything slows down, that's when reality has no filter. It's when the phone doesn't buzz with your call, when there's no goodnight text, when he rolls over and nobody's there to listen to him ramble about his day. That's when he feels your absence pressing on him. It's in that silence that memories of you speak the loudest. He remembers your laughter, your comfort, the way you made even the smallest things feel significant. And it's that memory against his empty present that makes him miss you more than he'd like to admit. He misses you in his victories and his failures. Think about it. When something good happens to a man, he wants to share it with the person who makes him feel most alive. When he gets that promotion, when he accomplishes something big, his instinct is to tell the one who always cheered for him. And when he can't share that joy with you, it feels incomplete. It doesn't hit the same. On the flip side, when he struggles, when life weighs heavy, he remembers how you stood by him before, how you were the one who believed in him when he doubted himself. Without you there, the load feels heavier, the room feels colder, the loneliness feels deeper. That's when missing you hurts, because it's not just about wanting company, it's about wanting the specific love and reassurance you gave. He misses you when something reminds him of you unexpectedly. That's one of the most powerful emotional triggers, because he doesn't plan for it, it just happens. Maybe he's walking past a store and sees your favorite perfume on the shelf, and instantly he remembers how that scent used to linger when you left the room. Maybe he hears a song on the radio, and it takes him right back to a road trip you shared, a laugh you had, a moment that meant nothing at the time but feels like everything now. These triggers are like snapshots of the past that flood his mind, and no matter how hard he tries to shake them, they come back stronger. That's when he realizes that your presence became part of his identity, part of his daily life. And without it, there's an ache that nothing else can cure. He misses you when he sees other people connect, when he's out with friends and he sees couples laughing, holding hands, supporting each other. It reminds him of what he once had, even if he tries to hide it behind a smile or a joke. Deep down, he knows there was someone who brought that same warmth to his world, and he let it slip. That comparison hits him harder than he lets on, because men don't like admitting vulnerability, but those little moments make him crave what he lost. And it's not just about wanting any person. It's about wanting you, because the connection you built, the comfort you gave, and the bond you created can't be duplicated with just anyone. He misses you when he slows down long enough to reflect. Life has a way of forcing us to stop and think, and when he sits in those moments of reflection, he starts to evaluate what mattered most in his life. He thinks about the people who shaped him, who gave him peace, who made him better. And your face shows up in that reflection every time. When regret creeps in, that's when he starts wishing he had valued you more when you were present. That's when he feels the sting of taking something precious for granted. Reflection is powerful, and when he allows himself to face it, that's when he truly understands what your presence meant to him. But here's the part that matters most. He doesn't miss you because you begged him to, or because you chased him, or because you tried to prove your worth. He misses you because your energy left a mark. The love you gave, the patience you showed, the laughter you shared, all of it created an imprint that stays long after you step back. And when that kind of woman removes her presence, when she chooses herself and pulls her energy back, that's when the absence becomes undeniable. because no matter what else he tries to fill that space with, it won't match the value of what you brought. So when he misses you, it's not just about a physical presence. It's about the emotional depth you carried into his world. It's about how you touched his heart in a way no one else did, how you gave him peace when the world gave him stress, how you built him up when life tore him down. He misses not just what you did, but who you were in his life. And the truth is, once a man has felt that, he can't forget it no matter how hard he tries. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that so many women need to hear, because it changes everything about how you carry yourself in relationships. When a man misses you, it's not because you begged him to or because you stayed glued to his every move. It's because you stepped back and allowed your value to speak louder than your presence. One of the most powerful lessons in life is understanding that absence has a voice, and it speaks far louder than constant reminders. When you stop chasing, when you stop overgiving, when you stop making yourself so available, that's when a man begins to realize what he had. He doesn't miss you when you're always there. He misses you when you take that step back and show him that your love is a privilege, not something he can take for granted. Men are wired in a way where they notice the silence more than the noise. When you're constantly calling, constantly texting, constantly showing up, he never has a moment to feel your absence. And without that absence, there's no room for missing you. But the minute you pull back, the minute you stop filling in all the gaps for him, he notices the difference. He notices the quiet where your laughter used to be. He notices the peace that left with you. And he notices the love that no one else seems able to give him. That's the moment when he begins to miss you, not because you reminded him to, but because he realizes what life feels like without you. And ladies, let me be real with you. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is give a man the opportunity to feel your absence. Too many women get caught up in the fear of losing him, so they chase harder, they give more, they lower their standards just to keep him close. But here's the truth. The more you give to a man who hasn't earned it, the less he values it. The more you make yourself available, the more he assumes you'll always be there, no matter how he treats you. It's only when you reclaim your time, your space, your peace, that he realizes you're not a guarantee, you're a choice. And if he doesn't choose wisely, he loses. That realization is what makes him miss you in ways he never expected. A man misses you most when you stop doing the little things he took for granted. He remembers how you used to check on him when no one else did, how you sent him messages just to brighten his day, how you made his life feel lighter without asking for anything in return. And when you stop doing those things, when you stop pouring into someone who wasn't pouring back into you, he feels that emptiness. He might not say it out loud, but he feels the difference in his daily life. That's when missing you goes from a fleeting thought to a heavy weight he can't shake. He also misses you when he starts to compare. Men might not admit this, but when he meets other people, when he spends time in other relationships, he starts to realize that not everyone has your patience, your kindness, your energy. He notices that other people don't laugh at his jokes the way you did. They don't support him in the same way. They don't create the same feeling of comfort. And no matter how hard he tries to move on without thinking about it, those comparisons creep back into his mind. That's when he understands that what you brought into his life wasn't ordinary, it was rare. And once a man experiences rare, it becomes unforgettable. Here's what's even more important. Your power doesn't come from making him miss you. Your power comes from knowing that your value stands whether he sees it or not. You don't pull back to manipulate him. You don't step away to play games. You do it to protect your peace and to honor your worth. Because the truth is, a woman who knows her value never has to beg for attention, never has to chase love, never has to prove herself over and over again. Her silence, her absence, and her standards do all the work. That's the woman a man misses, not the one who stayed no matter how little she was valued. When you choose to stop overextending yourself, that's when he feels the loss. He misses the version of you that made his world brighter. And he realizes too late that he didn't do enough to keep it. He misses your energy, your presence, your consistency, but he also misses the way you made him feel about himself. Because, let's be honest, men miss the woman, yes, but what really shakes them is missing how they felt when they were with her. And if you gave him peace, joy, support, and love that he can't find anywhere else, he will feel that absence with every part of his being. Ladies, I need you to understand that being missed is not about being perfect. It's about being impactful. It's about knowing that the love you gave, the effort you put in, the energy you carried, all of it created a mark that doesn't fade. And when you stop giving it to someone who didn't appreciate it, that's when he realizes the weight of losing it. You don't force a man to miss you. You let your value speak for itself. And if he's wise, that missing will push him to step up, to grow, to come back stronger. But if he's not, that missing will eat at him quietly, reminding him every day of the woman he let slip away